You know, it's a tough decision to make, but most people in the military don't make enough money to save money. And I know that. Now, there are people who can save money. And usually they're single, or they're master sergeants, or they're field grade officers. And so the people who can and have saved money and do have money, the best place to be is the gold and silver coins and shares, bullion, whatever you want. The rest, you live on from paycheck to paycheck. So what do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. You're at the mercy of the vicissitudes. It's a good word, isn't it? Of life.
Yeah.
And you got to hang in there with it. I learned that when I was in the 8th grade. Anyway, you just got to hang in there. And if you don't want to have cash around, like the euro or the dollar, you buy extra food. And that's depending upon how long you're going to be on duty where you're at. I mean, you don't buy 2 years' supply of food when you get 3 months to go, and you're going to get another set of orders to go someplace else. I mean, you got to use common sense. And so that's what you do. You don't want to be in money. You want to have done something with it. Food, rent, and for those of you who have more, and then you can buy gold and silver, which we've been talking about for years on the station.
Mm-hmm. We have time? Yeah, we got just a quick one. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Mr. Chapman, I own a third of a share of a family farm. I don't live near it, and I can sell my share to a relative for $13,000. The farm is 5 acres. Is not really a farm. It's just a home with a bunch of pecan trees. I can sell the farm for 5 acres worth $55,000. Should I take the $13,000 and run, or should I stick it out and just pay my share of the taxes?
No, I would take the $13,000 and put it in gold and silver related investments. And then, if we're correct, and gold goes up 3 or 4 times, then you're going to have a lot of money. You might have over $50,000. And then maybe at that time, the house that used to cost $500,000 will then be selling for maybe $100,000 or $150,000, and then you can go and buy it. So that's what you should do.
Outstanding.
That's what I do.
That's what he was hoping you would say, because he really doesn't want to be involved.
Every situation's different.
Yeah, every situation is different. And in this particular case, there are 3 direct. From what he tells me in the Marine Corps chat room, there are 3 other relatives directly involved that aren't involved in the ownership. He's one of the other 6 offspring that do have a share, and he'd like to get out of it and sell his share to one of the other third members. So we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back with Mr. Bob Chapman and the InternationalForecaster.com to the show. Sir, welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't hear you the first time, but there was some dead air at this end.
Oh, okay. Well, we're running on all 4s.
Again, I'll repeat. Welcome back to the show. Let's see. Where did we get off here? I got potato water. Okay, let's see here. I got that's a little something I need to talk about later. Let's see. I guess for you. Let's see. I had another question here. As we just after we went off on that investment on the 13,000. Mr. Chapman, do you really feel that silver is undervalued? I keep hearing you say that silver is 1/16 the value of gold. If silver was supposed to be 1/16 the value of gold, it should be up there around $75 to $85, even $90. Why isn't it?
Because the United States government has been suppressing the price of gold and silver for many years. In former years, they sold off all of their silver. They had a large inventory, and that was gone some 10 years ago. And they've been selling gold into the market to suppress it since 1988, when they were legally able to do that by executive order from President Reagan. It was called the President's Working Group in Financial Markets. And what that group does today is go in the market and manipulate everything every day. And so the reason that silver is not selling at higher prices is because of your government interceding in the market and manipulating it. And the same is with gold. And the opposite side, the government tries to make bonds strong in the market to keep interest rates down, and they also manipulate the stock market.
From Texas, some people are saying they will pull, I don't know who she means by they, some people are saying they will pull the plug after the first of the year. Do you think this is likely?
Possible, but not probable. There are many people who have the public's ear today who have no real training in finance, economics, stock markets, things financial, and also many of them are trying to prognosticate on what's going to go on in this country or another, and they have no training in that. They never lived there. They don't speak their languages. So more often than not, they're wrong. And so, yes, we're going to have problems with the euro and with the dollar. Gold and silver are going to go up no matter what they do. They're just trying to delay it as long as possible. Commodities will remain strong. The market, stock market, will remain strong as long as they can keep it up, although I think it's overpriced, and I think that we'll have a correction in the coming year. But as far as 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's a shot in the dark. All we know is there's a problem. We got to be aware of it. We have to use that in our planning for the future. And we can't try to guess when there's going to be a bank holiday anywhere. We just don't know.
We don't. We really don't. We do know that if you look at history, to the long depression of the 1800s, late 1800s, and the small depression back in the early 1900s, then we went through the depression of 1930s. We have the example of the Weimar Republic crashing, and we have the example of the Zimbabwe Republic crashing these last few years. Mr. Chapman, I see a catastrophe coming to the United States of America because of their divorce from the Creator's design and the morals of our Creator, and the massive amount of greed behind the scenes. And I'm assuming you agree with that.
I certainly do. And I lived in Germany for a long time, and I lived in Zimbabwe for a long time. And in each time that I lived there, in those places, they did not have hyperinflation. But I lived there in what you might call more normal times. And but yes, Zimbabwe is headed for eventual collapse. And that's what you have when you have hardcore communists running the country. And nobody knows it better than I. I lived in Salisbury, which is now called Harare, and every time I went out into the tribal trust lands, I always carried an AR-15 and a 45 and a 357 because there were terrorists all over the place. And my wife did the same thing. And so if they wanted action, they got it. Fortunately, we never ran into anybody, but we almost did once. And fortunately, the Cella Scouts were out, and they told us, get the hell out of here. Weapons or not, it's our job, not yours.
Been there, done that. I've been there, done that in Cambodia. A couple of Cambodian regulars from the regime that was in power in Phnom Penh came across me and my group, and we were ordered to just go another direction because our job is about to come full swing. And within about 15 minutes, they had a major firefight that turned into about a 3-hour battle because of the noise that we heard. Mr. Chapman, there's a lot of patriots out there, and this comes in from a Marine that says that watches the Informational Patriot Networks on their broadcast. He says, Mr. Chapman, I hear a lot of sensationalists out there. I won't bring out their names, but they're peddling everything from 2 terabyte hard drives with a lot of information that I can get off the internet for free if I take the due diligence to do so, all the way down to DVDs, VHS tapes, audio tapes of programs, and I would like your feelings about those of us that are trying to find out the truth and listening to the alternative radio, and at the same time, what do we do about all of these sensationalists?
Well, it's very disturbing to me as a professional because I have to sit and listen to them just like you do, and I know often they don't know what they're talking about. That's what I was alluding to earlier. But there are some programs you can go to, like this one, which you're listening to. But, on radio, there's Dr. Stan Monteith, who I've been on with for many years. Alex Jones does his very best to bring all of the information he can to the public. Sometimes he has people on that I don't agree with from the standard that you just talked about, but I don't say anything. Who he brings on the program is his business. And Joyce Riley's on with me every Monday. These are on GCN Network. And there's a lot of good people out there that aren't selling anything. I mean, I have a newsletter, but other than that, I'm not selling anything. And I don't take anything for anybody for doing anything. I don't have to. When you're old, you're supposed to be rich. Well, I'm not rich, but I'm old. But anyway, I share your trepidation. You're just going to have to use your own good judgment and email me anytime you want. I'll tell you the truth. And then we can talk about names and things like that, because I will. I don't hide from people who I think shouldn't be doing what they're doing, and they're in it for the money more than anything else. So just go to my email, Bob, B-O-B, at INT Forecaster, FORECASTER.com, and I'll give you all the help you need. And I'll send you an introductory copy as well.
Please ask Bob, has he heard that Angela Merkel came out just this morning telling the Germans that their euro is safe, but most financial commentators wrote run for the hills?
When you draw a line, and on one side you have financial and economic people who disagree with each other all the time, and on the other hand you have the politicians who are being paid off by the bankers and the Wall Street types from behind the scenes.